What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. I just watched the brand new Netflix movie called Set It Up. So Set It Up is directed by Claire Scanlon and stars Zoe Dutch as our main character, and there are so many different talented people in supporting roles in this movie. I was actually really impressed with the cast, so I was kind of excited even though I had seen no marketing for this film. If you guys don't know how my reviews work, I like to talk about the good, the bad, and then give you my score. And last night I watched The Incredibles 2, so if you want to see my review for that, please go check that out because that was so much fun to do. But right now we are talking about Netflix movies. Here we go. So I said this last week with Alex Strangelove. The entire year I have been watching these romantic or teen comedies on Netflix, and they have just been utterly disappointing me. Alex Strangelove, I ended up really enjoying, and I didn't really know how I was going to feel about this one. I told you the cast was really well done. I think this director has a lot of talent. I just didn't really know where this movie was going to end up because you never really do with a rom-com. And the premise behind this one is very simple. Two corporate executive assistants hatch a plan to match-make their two bosses. And the entire movie, you get a sense of how they feel working for these people, and let's just say it's not fun. I liked how they made a play off of Shark Tank. They have the big executive boss, and then she is like a Sports Illustrated. I believe they said she worked for SportsCenter. She's like a major reporter, but they are both just total... God, I would hate to work for somebody like this. And I really like what they did, giving them both a distinct personality, because yes, they're both corporate douchebags, but they have their own flair. I mean, you know Lucy Liu is going to give a fantastic performance, and I'd never really seen this guy before, but he was super good. And I really liked our two leads here. I think they are the reason why this movie actually ended up being something that was a tad bit impressing. Now, Zoe Dutch and Glenn Powell are our two main characters, and you can kind of see where their story is going. It's one of my problems about the movie is it's a bit predictable. But you know what? The way that these actors portray these characters was very entertaining. There were some jokes that did work, some conversations where I'm like, okay, that's pretty good dialogue, and that's pretty good dialogue. Some things that I've been missing out of Netflix movies earlier this year, and you know what? I think they are the main reason why this movie is good. I mean, from a technical standpoint, I didn't really see anything wrong with the film. I liked some of the cinematography. I think the color was pretty well done. It seemed a bit more cinematic than some of these super low-budget rom-coms on Netflix. And I'm not saying this is a high budget because obviously it's super low budget. I'm just saying for the budget that it has, it looked pretty good. And I like a good premise like this. I mean, we've seen it before, but trying to set two people up and going about it in a way to where it's like you're kind of controlling where they're going, as these people do because they are the assistants to their bosses. I like the idea behind that, and I do think that part of the story really worked for where this thing headed. Like I said, guys, I enjoyed this movie. I don't think it's anything fantastic or even anything I'm going to really remember or go back and watch again, but you know what? For getting up so early this morning and watching a Netflix rom-com, actually being slightly impressed is a good thing. That's not all good. There are some scenes in here that I remember for all the wrong reasons. There's a scene on an elevator, and I loved the premise behind it, and I liked our extra person in there. I thought he was really funny until something just went kind of... It got so cheesy, and my biggest problem, so unrealistic. There are moments in this movie feels very real, but at times it also feels like a cartoon, and that's a problem in tone. It needs to establish a tone, which it does, but it also needs to stick to that, and I don't really think it did. It just can't really find the right balance between those two things. Another thing I had a problem with is the music. It's very quirky and corny, and I didn't really like it. It felt like that 90s kind of on television kind of movie vibe. It has those and I'm like, all right, I wish they would have went with something a bit more simplistic, even though this is about as simple as you can go. Like I said, there are scenes. The kiss cam scene was so lazy and uninspiring and probably the most unrealistic thing in the movie. It's like, what are the odds of something like that actually happening? And it did, and it went exactly where our characters needed to go, but you know what? I think that's just it's a flaw in the writing. Some of the dialogue was meh. There were some issues in this movie, but I don't want to judge it too harshly because the good did outweigh the bad, and the joy within the storytelling, and then the way that it ends up, even though you do expect it to end that way, I was still like, okay, I like these two characters so much. I'm so glad that these things are happening to them individually. So all in all, guys, I'm going to give Set It Up a 62%, something pretty solid to watch on Netflix if you're bored or you just want to watch a rom-com. Once again, Netflix continues not really to get better, better, to give us something worth watching if we're bored, and I do believe that is the point. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. This weekend is my Pixar countdown. I am so excited to rank these movies. Today's comment spotlight comes to us from Amari Points. Thank you so much for the comment, man. He is digging my Edna voice from The Incredibles 2 review, and he is looking forward to seeing the movie. Thank you guys for all of your comments. Be sure to keep commenting, and you will be featured on my next comment spotlight. Thank you guys for the thumbs up, all the love and support, and I will see you later.